right, ladies and gentlemen, they just a new news break. Nancy Grace or whatever put out a channel. They just caught some guy with a kid in his closet. So let's listen to this. Let me post her channel in my chat. I think I already put it in the description.
Receives a call from his daughter's high school. His 15-year-old daughter never showed up to class that morning. Calls to the teen's cell go unanswered, and when dad rushes home to check on her, he finds the home empty, his daughter nowhere in sight.
A parent's worst nightmare. You go to work, you think everything is fine, and then you get that call from the school. Your daughter never showed up. Joining me, an all-star panel to make sense of what we are learning now. Listen.
A Columbia, Missouri father gets a call from his daughter's high school that she never arrived to class. The dad calls his 15-year-old several times and, getting no answer, rushes home from work to check on her. He's hopeful that she just overslept or missed the bus. But when he gets home, the teen isn't there, and some of her belongings, including her phone, are missing.
Okay, that's a sign right there that her phone is missing, probably her school backpack, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything is wrong. She typically takes her phone and her backpack to school every day. Did you know that over 33% of all child disappearances, kidnaps occur in, around, or related to getting to school? It could be the bus stop, at the bus stop. It could be walking the route to school, getting off the bus, walking back home, even approaching the school, like Kyron Horman. It goes on and on. Nearly half, over 33% of all child disappearances, kidnaps, stranger related, occur as it connects to getting to and from school. So right there, we see a problem. Joining me, Greg Morse, high-profile lawyer, criminal defense attorney out of Palm Beach, author of
Yeah, this is just crazy. And what do we also see with this? We also see that these kids and people are kidnapped. They have their phones or whatever. And the people that either killed them or kidnapped them have possession of the phone. And they're literally talking like they're somebody, like they're a missing kid or a missing woman or a man or whatever. And they're using their own phones to communicate with family members, and the family members think everything's fine because they're communicating with the kid, right? Or the missing wife or husband or whatever. When really these people have the phone. We've seen that in the Rodney case. We've seen that in uh, uh, the Gabby Petito case. I do believe we're going to see that also in the Delphi case and other cases where these people were already gone, but people were either using their device or getting rid of the device, and that would explain why the phone was pinging everywhere and everything. It's a very sick world. I wish they would come out and just say how sick this world really is, and it's a very sick world.
the untested. He is the partner at Morse Legal. Greg, right there, that is where law enforcement starts the search. First of all, law enforcement always says, "Oh, she'll be back
Hello, Miss
home.
Cyber Warrior.
Don't worry, she's probably out with her little boyfriend." That's what they normally say. But then, when and if they get concerned about the missing child, then they start looking at the school and the routes to school. Explain.
Yeah, so police are going to start and spiral outwards when they're looking for a missing person. Most people are locally found. So they're going to think maybe she's a teenager, she went to a friend's house, didn't call her parents. Then they're going to start retracing the steps she should have taken, spoken with her friends, and things of that nature. Although this case exemplifies why you need to start with the phone.
Karen Stark joining me, renowned forensic psychologist, TV, radio trauma expert, and you can find her at karenstark.com, Karen with a C. Karen, thank you for being with us. Karen, why is it that law enforcement always at the get-go, whether it's a missing girl, a missing boy, or typically a missing
Hello, Miss
woman, they go,
Debbie.
oh, they'll be back. They're out with their little boyfriend or fill in the blank. They never take it seriously at the beginning.
And that's what we seen, Miss Nancy Grace, in the Delphi case. There wasn't no bolo put out. Nothing, an Amber Alert, nothing for the kids. Because the police, they have, I do believe it's 72 hours or something like that, or 48 hours to report a missing kid, or the police can't do anything for 48 hours because there's a good chance the kid's just out somewhere or could have gone somewhere and not let the parents know or whatever. So we also seen that in the Delphi case, and the Summer Wells case, right? Time went by, nobody called the police. We're also seeing that in the Koberger, the Idaho 4, right? Not many hours went by before anyone called. So we're seeing this a lot. And it's common now.
They don't, Nancy. They really are trying to get the parents to not be upset, or the people that are looking for them. And for some reason, they keep trying to say things like, well, she's a runaway, or she's with a friend, just like you said, and really trying to quiet the fact that these people might be getting really upset, of course, and frightened.
Why is that, Todd Shipley? Todd Shipley is joining us, digital cybercrime expert for.
Yeah, a lot of this, I've heard police say, and these people had a legit beef with other people, and charges should have been filed. But we've heard a lot of these police come out and say, well, it sounds like a civil thing, and just leave the scene of the madness, and it just erupts again, right? And that's what the police do. Some of these people will use excuses. Now we're looking into, is it true that in America the police have a list of people's names, and if you're on that list and you call into the police, there's probably 9 out of 10 chance that the police are not going to show up. And if they do show up, they're not going to do anything for you. Now, we don't know if this is true in America. There's rumors going around that this is going on. I'm not sure. We'd have to check more into it. But here you go, folks. Another thing, another kid kidnapped and found 700 miles away. Within a blink of an eye, he was back at home. 700 miles ain't nothing, you know. So, yeah, a lot of this is going on. So, I just wanted to bring attention to you folks on this. Now, let's watch a little bit more of this.
Former detective sergeant with Reno Police, never lack of business in Reno, 25 years in LA, and author of Surviving a Cyber Attack. Also author of Investigating Internet Crimes. Todd, thanks for being with us. Why is it in your 24 years in LA law enforcement, I'm sure you saw it over and over and over, where detectives, investigators, beat cops would say, she'll be back.
Well, because it commonly is that way. Particularly with runaway kids, they look at it that it's somebody that walked off to a girlfriend's house or went someplace with a boyfriend, and they'll show up within hours or days, and it won't be a kidnapping. It's hard, at least initially, to figure that out.
Straight out to Gigi McKelvey joining me, journalist, host of Pretty Lies and Alibis podcast. Gigi, thank you for being with us. Another factor into why, in this jurisdiction, police may not have taken her disappearance seriously at the beginning is because this neck of the woods, Columbia, Missouri, is the safest place, the safest urban area in Missouri in which to live.
Well, Columbia, Missouri has one of the lowest crime rates in the state. It's very close to nature. We just don't hear of bad things like this happening in this ideal Midwestern town. And so I think with the comfort of living in a place like that, you don't necessarily think the worst is going to happen right there in your hometown.
Yeah, you're right, Gigi McKelvey. It's got a pretty low population, 130,000. It is close to nature. That's what it's known for, the Missouri River. Not only that, it's got this extensive trail going through the city, very low crime rate. So, Greg Morse, I do blame the police, but I get where they're coming from. This type of case is very rare for them. So when it's an aberrance, then you got to put on blinders, I guess, would be a way to describe what happened at the get-go, Greg.
Well, that's what happens. Again, the police don't want to spend resources. They think this is going to turn out fine. Another teenager that's mad or went out late with their boyfriend or other friends, they'll come home in a day or two. That's the common.
All right. And this FBI guy is right. The police, for some reason, they just ain't got the time. I really wish I could today, but we can't look for them and everything. They just blow stuff off. And then the people, the citizens, they take things into their own hands. And you know what? Congress, Senate, Pentagon, Homeland, CIA, and everything. I don't know why we're paying these people taxpayer money if they don't do their jobs and investigate right away. Now, I know that there used to be a law where they couldn't look for anybody for a certain amount of time, right? They couldn't give up resources for a certain amount of time because they could be missing. There has to be so much time go by before someone becomes missing. I understand that, but just to turn a blind eye and walk away, it's crazy. All right, hold on a minute. All right, real quick, we're going to switch to something else that one of the mods sent me. See what's going on here.
On child sex predators. U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi and the FBI director announced the results of Operation Restore Justice.
It's been called one of the largest child exploitation crackdowns in U.S. history, and 27 News Washington correspondent Rashad Hudson explains.
Children targeted, predators caught, and now Attorney General Pam Bondi and FBI Director Kash Patel say they're getting justice.
Children are being taken advantage of, and we have to stop it.
If you harm our children, you will be given no sanctuary.
Agents arrested 205 suspects in just 5 days. The Department of Justice calls it one of the largest operations of its kind.
Children and their families now have a chance to heal.
Bondi says many of the victims were lured online, sparking this warning.
This is so serious. Your child has no right to privacy on the internet. None. You have to monitor what your kids are doing.
The operation spanned from California to New York. Many caught in the act, trying to exploit children.
There is no place we will not look for you, and there is no cage we will not put you in should you do harm to our children.
Even more alarming, Patel says some of The suspects worked as teachers, coaches, and law enforcement officials.
People in places of public trust have violated not only the law, but that public trust.
The DOJ is pushing
The double OG. And this is what we're looking at in our country, where even though these people have badges and they're higher ups, teachers, whatever, on literally, we've caught these people as they were sitting in cop cars doing things, and we've caught them within the justice system. So this is what I'm getting at is, we the citizens might want to break away from this whole police thing and create our own citizens police for the citizens, and we'll handle this problem. I'm tired of paying for this crap. I'm tired of paying for it, right? And they're right. They're telling the truth. You can call the cops all day. They might show up there, arrest you, no matter what, just because you're bugging them and you're taking away from their time, whether it's sleeping with 7 women or porn or whatever it may be. This is a serious situation. People laugh about it, but it's eating your country alive as I speak right now. Literally. Even these congressmen and senators and all these other people have been caught watching porn and doing crazy stuff, right? The higher ups and everything. If we don't handle this, it'll eat the world up. And I can't let Satan win this war. I hope you folks understand.
for the maximum sentence for every suspect arrested. Working for you in Washington, Rashad Hudson, 27 News.
Yeah, I don't know about you folks, but like I've said, I've pretty much had enough of this madness in this country that was the greatest. I'm not going to lie, I'm going to give props due where props were due. The United States of America was the greatest country ever. At one time in the world, we were an earth shaker, money maker, but with the laws, with the open borders, with all the madness and the corruption and the power of the dollar bill, it's eating this country alive, and it ain't gonna stop. It just will not stop. They ain't busting enough balls, right? Why? Because they themselves are making money off of it. That's why. And like I said, when you get the right guy in the White House, when you get the right billy clubs, you'll know it's time, right? You ain't got that guy in the house yet. You don't have him, right? But when that right guy gets in that White House, this corruption, this Satan worshiping, this witch stuff, everything is going to come to an abrupt halt. And you can say, I don't know what I'm talking about. That's fine. But when that right man gets in that house, your balls are going to be busted like never before. And it don't matter if you served or not. If they catch you doing this crap, you're going to get dealt with. And they're already doing it in America, dealing with these people. It's gone crazy. That's why I tell people stay at home. If you can avoid going out, stay at home. Lock your doors. You even get an inkling that your life is in danger. Shoot first, ask questions later. And that's the way it's going to be, folks. Now, you can try and stop it if you want, but the higher powers above have had enough, right? You people ain't under God if you're selling kids and trafficking kids and raping and pillaging I don't care what position you hold. If you're okay in that in America, if you're okay in some of this stuff, I think our punishment is right in front of our faces. People can't fathom it. What are you talking about? It's right in front of your face. This is God's punishment. The storms, the kids being killed, all the madness, the corruption, everything, the house of snakes, Sodom and Gomorrah, your country. Yeah. And then you throw at them, it ain't happening in the Lord's land. Why you letting it happen here in America, government? Right? We're a country under God. This should be just like Israel and the rest of them, where it don't happen there. They'd chop your head off if they found you trafficking children or doing stuff like that. You know, now should it be that extreme? No, I'm using it as a metaphor. For one, these people have lost touch with God. God is about forgiveness. These people can't forgive nothing. And when you got a country of people that can't let shit go or can't forget about it and let it go and forgive and forget, it's done. It's the whole morals, integrity, everything that we grew up knowing, is thrown out the window. Did some of these people make mistakes? Yes, that's why we let them go. They made a mistake. They had a clean record. They made mistakes. We didn't want to wreck their whole entire life because they were a young teenager. And that was up to them to whether to change their lives or not. Some of these people never changed their lives, and we're kicking our butts for letting them go. But you can't lock up everybody. You ain't got enough room. You ain't got enough manpower. We got the weaponry. We don't need the manpower, but a lot of stuff needs to be done. One day at a time. That's all we can do. Small steps. You can't change everything in a blink of an eye. It ain't going to work. It'll collapse on itself. We're moving too fast. You got 4 years, Mr. President Trump. Kick back a little bit at a time. But what we do have to do is make sure we secure America from anybody. That's number one on the list. Missile defense system, oh yeah. And right away, pronto. Other than that, a little bit changes as we go. And they ain't walking away from this. I'm sorry. These people are in our country. An invasion, I would say yes. Of sickos, of mental illness, yes. But we also have to look within our government because some of them are just as bad. You have to also look in the industries, in the business, because some of them are just as bad. There you go. That's how I feel about it. That's what's going on in these neck of the woods. Yeah. Should we forgive? Well, yeah, you gotta forgive. If not, your whole country is a bunch of bullshit crap. We're under God. Well, then you should learn to forgive because Jesus is about forgiveness. You people want to impale people right off the bat. That's why I'm Pontius Pilate. I wash my hands of it. We only impale when it needs to be impaled. We don't abuse our powers. And we're not going to wreck some teenager's life because he's jerking off, or anyone's life because they're jerking off. Look at the world they live in. You want them to go out and catch these diseases that these people deliberately brought to your country and are doing in your country of the United States of America. Right? Yeah. It's going to get worse. It'll get better. Right? The Lord reassured. It's going to get better, but before, it'll get worse. And we're going to have to rebuild, bring morals and integrity back into the whole thing and everything, right? No, I'm not gonna judge that guy. I'm not gonna wreck his life because he's looking at a Playboy book at 15, 16 years old. No, I'm sorry. Are you pissed because he's looking at women? and he's born a man. I don't understand you folks. Not that I'm judging anybody, but I'm not going to wreck that woman's life for looking at Playgirl, or that young teen or whatever, looking at Playgirl or whatever they call it. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm sorry. Right? I can't. I'm not the judger. That's God's job, not mine. You folks have a great night. And this is just a tip of the iceberg. This ain't even the whole iceberg. It hasn't even calved yet. It's gone. The only thing we should be talking about right now is what do we got left that's has God in it and morals and integrity, and what do we got left that's worth saving in America? That's what we should be asking ourselves. Anything other than that is a waste of money and time. You folks have a great night. God bless. And you've been watching the Johnny Kramer Music Movie Channel, where we don't jump to action, period, because prison is not fun, or even jail. So you folks have a good night. God bless.